And so today I'll be discussing work-life balance. I'm sure that a larger percentage of women struggle with work-life balance. And so we are always in different phases of our life. I may be in my startup season, you might be in your maintenance season. So what balance means to me is going to be different from what it means to you. Now, because a lot of women struggle with work-life balance, a lot of women have, confined themselves to a boss. Like they've already put a limit on themselves, like, oh, I am running a race, I cannot win this race. And why? Because already they are overwhelmed. If you go on social media daily, you will see women ranting, especially mothers, parents, it's not been easy. You juggle everything together. And yes, you still need to keep your personal life and keep your professional life. Now, before I proceed, I would like to ask us, what does a balanced life means to you? I would like you to write it down because we are still going to come back to that. Because if you want to have a work-life balance, you need to understand what a balanced life means to you. And when we are talking about work-life balance, we do not mean that you're going to have 50% work-life, 50% personal life, like it's going to be in that ratio. No, it's not going to be possible. But at least you can, manage your personal life and your professional life in such a way that the two can coexist together without one overpowering the other. Like you can form and have harmony. And when I say professional life, I do not mean people that are just running, career-oriented woman, people that do 8 to 5. Your professional is something, that brings you income. It could be your business. It could be like you have a ministry. It could be like, you have a vision that people know you for. And when I say your personal life, it has to do with your general well-being, your overall well-being, your spiritual life, your health. If you're a parent, being a parent, being your marital life, and your total self-care. So anytime you see me mentioning personal life, professional life, you understand what I'm trying to say. Now, a well-balanced life is a life, when you live a life of fulfillment. A lot of people are living, but they are not fulfilled. You just live. Some people live for their children. Some people live only for their husband. And that's why you see some women, when it becomes so much for them and they can no longer bear it, they will drop one and hold on to one. And some will hold on to their personal and say, oh, I cannot cope again, I'm resigning. I cannot continue with this job. I cannot continue with this business. Oh, let me focus on my home. Let me focus on my children. Who told you that you cannot manage both together and be fulfilled? There are so many obstacles, there are so many challenges that women faces today that, if you're not someone who is intentional and who already projects the kind of life you want, you will see that that woman you want to become, you will not be able to be that woman. And if I ask you today, beyond being Mrs. A and Mommy A, who are you? When people ask you, who are you? Like our daddy said and Mommy when they were talking, they spoke about women, some women are limited to just tying wrapper, giving birth to children. Because generally we are caregivers, and that's a job on its own. But God wants us to grow beyond that. Now, what are these obstacles? What are these challenges? One, we have the modern day reality, which is the societal pressure. In the society, they expect every woman to be perfect. Oh, they want to judge you by how you raise your children. When they see your children being, misbehaving and say, Korea, like you're not doing your job as a mother. In the office, they want you to be the perfect employee, the person that's always meeting deadline, doing your project, and all that. Your mother-in-law wants you to be the perfect daughter-in-law, the perfect sister-in-law, the perfect wife at home. Your friends want you to be the ever-supportive woman, These are society expectations of us. And again, you need to define who you want to be. You need to set standard for the kind of woman you want to be. Because if you keep living by the validation of the society, you will just see that you burn out. And now we are not aiming at being perfect, because the aim is not to be perfect. The aim is for us to live a life, be in the moment, and be fulfilled. And that is our aim. Another obstacle, we have a lot of mental load that we carry as women. Like you said, you're the one thinking about homework. You're the one thinking about how to note the PTA meeting date for your children. Because when you go to PTA meeting, you will see the 50% or 60% are women. You are the one. You are the one remembering your mother-in-law's birthday, your sister-in-law's birthday, your children's birthday. You are the one that will know that, oh, what am I going to cook today? Oh, you are thinking of breakfast. You're already thinking of when will I get, or what am I going to make for dinner? What am I going to make for lunch? So we carry so much mental loads. And those are part of the challenges. And when you see some women go through this is overwhelming enough for them. And so if you are not strong and determined and intentional, you will see that work-life balance will be like a marriage to you, and you have to drop one for one. Now, how do we now get through this stage and, be able to live our life, have fulfillment in our career and our personal life? I want to ask us a question, and that question is, what are those things that matter most to you? Those things that, if you devote like maybe 1 minute, 10 minutes, 30 minutes of your time to daily, will give you fulfillment. You can say, oh, I'm living a well-lived life. What are those things? Those are your non-negotiables, things that you cannot negotiate. So I want you to write down. Think of 5 things that you know that, these 5 things, for me to be happy, for me to find fulfillment, I must do them on a daily basis. I can give an example. It could be quiet moments with God, because every day you need to commit your life, your journey, your day to God. You need to ask the Holy Spirit for guidance. Another could be your health. Your health is non-negotiable. I want us to also add this to our list, because when you are healthy, if you are praying, you can tell God, I want this, I want house, I want car. You can ask for 1 million things. But if you bring a sick person here today and say, please pray, the only thing the person is going to pray for is healing. And that is why your health is your wealth. So your health is non-negotiable. And your health falls under your self-care. Now, write those things, because those are the pillars of your life. And those are the things that will determine if you're going to have a work-life balance or not. Now, for singles that are here, you're not a parent yet, so you might feel like, oh, I don't have responsibilities. I'm only responsible for myself. Your whole non-negotiable, aside from your health, could be financial security. Could be that, oh, before I get married, before I become a parent, I want to be financially stable. So you think of time to devote to, to your intellect to grow, maybe to courses, to things that will help you, get more incomes and resources. So I want us to write it down. When you write these things down, then we'll now talk about, how do I now balance my personal life and my professional life. 1, you need to set boundaries or negotiate boundaries. Okay, you're an employee here. You need to set a time work limit with your employer or your boss, and you need to keep to it. If you are running a business, if you are saying your shop opened by 8 and closes 5, when your customer gets to your shop by 5 or 5:10, let them see that your shop is closed. Then they understand that, oh, this woman, Enterprises Nigeria Limited, she opens by 5 and closes by 5. You need to have a structure. You need to have a boundary, and you need to keep to it. If you are saying your job is 8 to 5, when you're at work, the moment you leave work, you forget everything about work. When you get home, you wear either your mommy or your wife apron, and you're present. Because a lot of us are physically present at home, but then mentally, emotionally, we are absent. And the world we live in right now, there's inflation. You need to support your husband. If you want to even be a full-time housewife, like, oh, I want to take care of my children, there's moral decadence in the society. So you need the time that you will use to train your children and discipline them. It's also consuming. So you need to be intentional, and you need to, be present when you are. Then secondly, you need to set boundaries with people. If you are saying that you have friends who are draining your energy, that anytime you are with them, you don't get the best use of your time, you need to set boundaries with them. Then secondly, you need to be able to delegate. I'm going to talk about delegating and outsourcing because they are almost together. Now, as women, we are generally caregivers. When you get home, you will cook. Some women do not have house help. They don't have anyone helping them. You will wash, you will do all sorts of things. What happens to delegating those jobs? You have children that you can assign age-appropriate tasks to. That thing that you think, oh, you cannot do it, is just a level. Why not try one day and put that child through and see if he will do or not? My husband used to worry with ironing my children's uniform. One day he got tired. He said, oh, Shibumi is 12. Let me teach him how to iron. I was like, oh, he's too small. He will burn the uniform. I said, let him burn it. He wear like that. He taught him that very day. And since then, Shibumi is 12. He's been ironing for him and his siblings. So he took that burden off himself. And that time that, he spends doing those things, he assigned it to other productive things for himself. So now you need to think. You can invest in a lot of home appliances. We have washing machine. We have so many things that you can invest in. Because sometimes we feel, oh, let me do everything, I'm saving money. But you see, that time that you're supposed to use for something more productive, you're wasting it on things that will not add anything to your life. So you need to understand your priorities. You need to be able to prioritize what is important to you and what you can, outsource that, this thing will not bring any productivity or anything to me. There are people that you can pay that can come and run market errands for you on weekend. That time, you want to grow. You want to expand and enlarge your business. Study more. Devote time to things that will help you make those dreams a reality. Now, for people who are singles who are still thinking, oh, I want to get married, I want to plead to you. You see, when you are looking for partners, there's one thing. Your goals, your dreams must align with that person you want to marry. Because a lot of women are stagnant today because they marry people who do not support their dreams. People who do not believe in the woman they want to become. So the person will now confine them and limit them to who they want them to be. And that is why your number one support system is your husband, is your spouse, for people that are married. If you cannot work as a teammate and share some of this responsibility with your spouse, then I'm sorry. For you to grow, it's going to be struggles. And let me also tell us that you need to understand your man. For me, there are men that generally they can see you burning out. You will work from morning to night. If you don't ask for help, they will not help you. So learn to assign tasks respectfully to your husband. There are better ways you can communicate this. I have been doing this, and it's been working for me. You need to be able to say, babe, please, daddy, can you help me with this? You will see how they will help you. But if you are doing macho woman, superwoman, they will just be looking at you. You will continue to do it on your own. So you need to be able to, have that discussion and say, oh, this load capacity, please, can you help? Of course, because the man believes in your dream and wants you to grow and, see that vision that, oh, my wife is not limited to the kitchen. He would also want you to succeed. If there are things he will say, okay, let's outsource this. We will pay for this so that you can have that time to do things that are productive. If you are a boss here or a line manager, what happens to you delegating tasks to your team member? Why are you not empowering people that can shed those loads off you? Some people will say, if I teach my subordinates, when they can, quickly sack me and say, let's promote this person because they can do what I can do. Stop being selfish and self-centered. There's a difference between working hard and working smart. Some of you work hard. Everybody sees you are running everywhere, but you're not smart because you've not been able to differentiate the things that you're supposed to do for people to acknowledge you in that industry. Commit your time to solving problems. Every company, every organization wants people that are solution providers, people that can help them maximize profit and also reduce cost. But instead, you are taking people's job, things that will not add anything. And you have people, you go on leave, your work will suffer. You understand? So please start empowering your team member. You have a business, empower your staff, your people that works for you, so that when you're not there, put a structure to your business so that when you are not there, it will not die. And that's the only way you can have a balanced life. Now, self-care. Your self-care is your priority. And self-care goes beyond, I want to go on a spa day. I want to, have good hours of sleep on a daily basis. 6 to 7 hours is good enough. Your nutrition, please. Ensure that you're intentional about what goes into your mouth, what you eat, because everything comes down to your health. Then again, your personal life with God, very important. Create that time. In fact, as you're taking days for meetings on your calendar, ensure that you do that for your quiet moment, because even God is looking forward to that time with you. So please make it a priority. Then bonding with families. When you are there, be present. When your children knows you are home, emotionally, physically be present. Give work off. And again, your social life, very important. I've seen a lot of married women who will say, I don't have a social life, and there's so much bitterness they are carrying because they feel like they are not living a life of their dreams. When last did you have a good laugh? When last did you go out to hang out with friends, and have a good laugh and connect and talk about things, rub minds, and, gain from other people? When was the last time? So please, find time to hang out with people of like minds so that, the more you laugh, you are happy. But if you continue to live by, my children, my husband, and you keep zero, you are on the bottom list. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So please give yourself permission to rest. Because even Christ, God rested on the 7th day. So please, exhaustion is not strength. Burnout is not discipline. Give permission to live that kind of life that will feel good inside as much as it feels outside. And I want to challenge every one of us as we live here today. Commit to that one thing that you start doing intentionally from today that will honor that peace in your life. May God bless us in Jesus.
Amen. Let's put hands together for her.